All right, what's going on, family? So I'm going to give you my top 5 mistakes that could fly under the radar, or it could be something that is very common, but often it is talked about behind closed doors as opposed to the public eye, unless someone's frustrated. All right, so let's talk about the top 5 mistakes that companies make dealing with employees. One of the mistakes is poor interview questions. If you are going in for a job interview, and if you ever been in a situation where the employer is asking you questions that are personal, which has little to nothing to do with the job, that's something that is a mistake because they're supposed to be focused on the job, not personal things, asking you things that could give you the impression that they are going to use against you. So make sure they keep it about the job. Another mistake is not retaining good employees. So you often find a lot of these companies will keep around workers that are like less, like doing the job halfway or not productive at all. But the ones that are good seem to be able to move on. And you would think that they would prioritize those type, but instead they let them go because they don't want to, negotiate or try to keep them there. And then all of a sudden they end up counter offering those good employees when they threaten to leave or they actually take action to leave. But the entire time while they were at the company asking for that raise or asking for some type of incentives, they were just deaf ears and they don't take you seriously until you get ready to leave. So that's a mistake that's common. Another one is telling employees that they are overqualified. I've seen so many people get told this, and I'm like, the people that are applying obviously don't think they're overqualified, but the company does. And what that translates to is, I think you're going to leave this company, and you're probably going to demand more pay. So I don't. We don't have the funds, or we don't have the desire to hire you. That's a mistake that a lot of companies make. Those people are actually more willing to probably stay and be retained for the simple fact that if you feel like they're overqualified for the position, and if they're willing to still work despite what you think as a company, they're probably more likely going to stay because they see something of value and benefit to them. So the overqualified talk of companies, that's a mistake that I see them make. Another one I got on my list here is rescinding a job offer. Now that this one hurts. What that means is you give your company 2 weeks notice, you're getting ready to leave, you're getting ready to start the new job, and all of a sudden they tell you they're not going to hire you anymore. And now you're like, well, what do? I can't go back to my old company because I just left. Even if I had good relationships, it's kind of hard to get back in. And then my new company, I don't have a job, so what do? And that's a hard place to be in, and this happens more than people think. So, I would advise getting with a legal attorney team and seeing what your options are. But unfortunately, this happens, and sometimes there's little to no accountability. But I chalk it up as a mistake regardless because it's just the principle of playing with someone's livelihood like that is it's a bad thing to do. Um, and the last one I would say is on my list I got here. Yeah, little to no increase in salary. I probably should have said that first. What that means is the job is still paying the same type of salary range and they're not keeping on pace with the market. So groceries, gas, everything's getting inflated around you. Everything's going up but your salary. So now you're still working in a pay range that is not suitable for everyday lifestyle. So now you're looking at ways to make ends meet. So you probably got to get a second job or a third job. And that to that point, what are you working for? Just to pay bills. That's what it goes through the routine for most people. So I think companies should at least increase their wages as the market inflates as opposed to keeping it where it's been for like the last 10, 15 years. So in conclusion, guys, stay encouraged. Make sure you do your homework on these companies. Don't just assume a job is going to hire you and everything's going to be smooth. Make sure you protect yourself. Find out about things that you can get in writing to be able to protect yourself in advance in case something goes south. And make sure you do the best you can to continue providing for yourself. Hope this video helps. Many blessings.